I love a cold cut sandwich, slice of bread, ham, Swiss cheese, it's gotta be Swiss cheese, nice lettuce and tomato, and then another nice big toasted piece of slice of bread on top, and we're done. A nice cold cut sandwich. In fact, you know what? Contract basics are just about the same thing as a sandwich. Now, when it comes to contract basics, the basics of contracts, I want you to remember one thing. You gotta be prepared when you're gonna meet your buyer or when you're gonna meet your seller. When you're going on that listing presentation, I want you to think of a sandwich. What am I supposed to take to this presentation? Your one-time shot to get this listing. Your one-time shot to sell this mansion. Your one-time shot to sell this condominium. It doesn't matter what price range it is, it's your one-time shot, so I want you to be prepared. And by preparation, I mean I want you to have the right documents. The minimum documents that you should be taking to these contracts is what I call the sandwich. 3 items I want you to have. First one is the first slice of bread, and that's gonna be your agency disclosure. That form here in the state of California is called Disclosure Regarding Real Estate Agency Relationships. In your state, it might be called something else, but I want you to commit yourself to your client. That's the first slice of bread to the sandwich. Your agency disclosure. You committing yourself to your client. You signing on the dotted line to your client. I'm going to protect you. I'm going to give you what's called fiduciary duties. I'm going to give you everything I got, the trust, the honesty, my commitment to you. Agency disclosure. First slice of bread. I can taste it already. The sandwich is going to be good. Then you're going to go ahead and put all your meat and cheeses in it. All the stuff that goes in the middle of that sandwich, right? And all that stuff that goes in the middle of the sandwich, the one that makes it taste delicious, the most important part of the sandwich is going to be your RLA or RPA. Now, if you represent a seller, I want you to take with you, of course, the document RLA, Residential Listing Agreement. Key word here is listing. Anytime you hear the word listing, you already know this. When you hear the word listing, we're talking about a seller. That document has to be right in the middle. That's going to be your meat and cheese, the Swiss cheese, right? And on that contract, on that RLA, you're going to have all the particulars when it comes to that property. The price, the commission amount, all the other stipulations that come within that contract. You got it? If you're working with the buyer, your ham and cheese is going to be slightly different, but it's still going to be in the middle of the sandwich. Your RPA is going to be the Residential Purchase Agreement. Keyword here is purchase. And that's going to be where all the flavor is. That's the biggest part of the sandwich. The most important part, the most flavorful part of the sandwich is what's in the middle. So in this case, with the buyer, it's going to be the RPA, the Residential Purchase Agreement. And on that contract, on that offer, will be all the stipulations for your offer. Of course, the offer price, contingencies, disclosures, you name it, it's going to be in the middle of that sandwich, part of that contract, part of that residential purchase agreement. So there, we got the middle of the sandwich. So let's go ahead and close it off with the other piece of bread. Now, what's the other piece of bread? The other slice of bread? Ready? Here it comes. It's going to be what we call the PRBS. The PRBS, the possible representation of more than one buyer and seller. What does that mean? In its nutshell, it's the dual agency form. In fact, it used to be called dual agency many, many years ago here in the state of California, but we've changed it now to the PRBS. And that PRBS is you allowing the seller or the buyer to know that you're going to be working with other clients, other sellers, other buyers. Now, you might bring them the buyer, and you might want to dual agency this deal, which is okay if it's allowed in your state. In some states, it's not allowed. Most states, it is. Nice and simple. So there you have it, the sandwich. The sandwich of basic contracts, contract basics. First slice of bread, I want you to put some mayonnaise on it, put some mustard on it, and that first slice of bread is going to be your, you know it already. What is it? Yeah, agency disclosure, known as the disclosure regarding real estate agency relationships. Now you're going to go right in the middle, your ham and cheese, and your lettuce and tomato, and your pickles. I like pickles, and your pickles. And that form is going to be the RLA or RPA. You're representing a seller, RLA. Representing a buyer, RPA. And I want you to go ahead and top it off with the other slice of bread. And that other slice of bread is going to be your PRBS. Here in the state of California, in your state, it might be the dual agency form. And there you have it, a beautiful sandwich. I'm getting hungry. It's time for lunch. I hope you learned something from this. So when you go to your next appointment, whether it's a listing appointment or you're ready to make that offer, take those 3 items with you. Again, agency disclosure, your RLA or RPA, and last but not least, take your PRBS, or in your state, it might be dual agency. Now, quick note, a lot of agents, while they're sitting there preparing the sandwich with their client, they like to bring in additional disclosures. That's a lot of paperwork. Additional disclosures. And they have their client fill out all the additional disclosures while they're already there. My recommendation, don't do it. Make an appointment for another day to bring back all the disclosures. The disclosures take time. You've gone in there with your sandwich. You've gone in there with the paperwork that you need to get started with. You got in there to have a nice sandwich, to fulfill your appetite. Get in, get out, make an appointment to come another day to get those disclosures filled out. Not a big deal. In fact, when it comes to disclosures, you can actually email the disclosures over to your client. There's no need for you to make another appointment. So that's another bonus tip. If need be, you can tell your client, hey, I'll email you over the disclosures. Please review them. Please fill them out. If you have any questions, contact me. I'll be more than happy to help you out. A nice, simple way to get it done without you having to be stuck there after having your sandwich. Hope this helps you out. Hey, listen, before you go away, do me a favor. Check out this video here. It discusses the types of residential listing agreements that you definitely want to know tons about. We'll see you next time.